It's castling time, baby! Woo! It's castling time! That's all you get to know. I will leave Mr. Dibbler in the dark for as long as possible. Because we all know what castling time means. But he's new. He doesn't. So, gonna be a big surprise. Yeah, I'm just fooling you. We're just gonna play a castle scenario. I've literally never uttered the term "it's castling time" before. I just made it up. But good evening, everyone. And welcome to another Wednesday evening stream. How you doing? In the middle of this fourth week already of January. That sounds like something a castler would say. What is a castler? Is that a lord of a castle who reigns over a castle? Or is it someone who builds castles? Yay, livestream catch. Gotta make a homepage still by tomorrow and procrastinating. Just like I am procrastinating tomorrow's video. Well, not right now. Right now I'm working, but I've been the past few days. For some reason I just haven't been unable to be productive. I don't know why. I recorded it quite in advance, but yeah, the editing is taking a bit longer than it should. Oh well. Let's get into it, shall we? Dark Age Castle. We did Crazy Castle a few weeks ago. I think that was the first stream of the year. Now we're gonna do Dark Age Castle. I think this is my second stream on this. My first stream. Let's see. I think that is in here. What is it called? Cliffside Castle? No, it's not in here. Did I name it Cliffside Castle? Because I did an earlier stream on this, but I believe it was really ugly and I kind of destroyed it. Okay, no, this is even older than that. Well, then I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna make it a bit more pretty this time. This is the castle that you start out with. I'm gonna leave everything. And I'm just gonna build rides in between. So that should be prettier. We should start building rides though, because we do have the 700 park rating requirement thing that we need to adhere to. Should we want to not fail the scenario. And I would quite want to not fail the scenario. Ah, music. The great uniter. A castler is obviously someone who castles. Okay, but can you describe to me the verb of castling? What does it mean for a person to castle? That is the question, isn't it? Was planning to make stuff for a pie, but circumstances made me annoyed and my head was not into it. Well, better luck next time then. Funnel cake. That still confuses me. For the longest time I thought this was some kind of pie thing, but I've learned that funnel cake is like a fried thing. It's... I've never had it. After weeks of below freezing weather, it's now 13 degrees and rainy. That sucks. Rainy weather is boring. Do we have any... Okay, there's our first guest. So, guest 69 will have to wait a while, Major Geeks. I think it's because we charge too much. Yeah. How about 3 for now? That should get us more guests. There we go. There's Mr. Pink. And there's Mr. Purple. How about a nice junior coaster? It's literally dough funneled into a deep fryer, often topped with powdered sugar. Yeah, that's just not what I think of when you say cake. And it doesn't help that this shop design kind of looks a bit like cake. Like, I looked it up, funnel cake, earlier, so I know what you mean, but... And I kind of know what it is. But this still reminds me more of a traditional cake with like layers and frosting and whatever. So that absolutely doesn't help. I had to go run some errands today and to cross a bridge. Had to cross a bridge and was almost blown into oncoming traffic while cycling. Yeah, the wind was kind of forceful today. I hope that you survived. Would be kind of unfortunate if you died. Okay. I think we can do this. I did survive. Good, good, good. You know, I wasn't sure if you did. So I'm happy to hear that you did indeed survive. Okay, yeah, if I do it like this... Can I build path under that? I don't think I can. You know what? In that case... yeah, I'll just do that there. Oh, right. That's fine. I'll move that to there. We'll go underground, baby. I don't know if... God damn it. Ugh. I'm locked in. Options. Options, options, options. I know option. There we go. That'll do it. Ooh, we got a rain. All right. $180 down into the ground for the waiting line was an option. How? I don't see how that would fit. Because the only 3 tiles I could build were this one and these 2 where the queue line was on. And I needed to get 2 units down in those 3 tiles. Because you can't build a queue line there. Or even there, so that's not gonna work. Left from the entrance. Oh, I guess there was space there. Was there? Yeah, that was. Could have worked. Yeah, no, that's right. But I didn't. I quite like this wall piece. It's one of the better expansion pieces. And honestly, that kind of goes for the entire castle set. I think the castle set is pretty good. Look at this. This looks quite good. What's worse, being locked in for the rest of your life or having locked in syndrome for the rest of your life? Well, depends on what you're locked into, I guess, but locked in syndrome is pretty much always worse. For those who don't know what locked in syndrome is, it's when you're aware of everything around you. You can see, you can hear, you can process, but you can't do anything. You can't speak, you can't move anything on your body, you can't make any noise, but you do experience the world around you. But no one knows that you experience the world around you. That's the absolute worst part. No one can know that you experience the world around you. What about jail versus being with loving family who take you places? Jail. I'm introverted. Okay, we can now definitely charge 10. Ooh, let's do a custom maze. And here I was thinking I wouldn't get my dose of existential dread today. Yeah, unfortunately, you joined a Marcel Vos livestream. Honestly, it's your own fault, really. You could have known. You know who I am. Okay, entrance, exit. You are over 69 guests. Good point. I'll drown guest 69 as soon as I finished building this maze. It's a rather simple design, but it looks cute, doesn't it? Alright, guest 69. You have lived your last moments on Earth. Wait, I don't think... Yeah, I don't have any ground... Any water on the ground. Oh, snap. Duh! I didn't take care of the park rating. Am I gonna lose because I didn't... I forgot the park rating was a thing. Entertainers everywhere. Okay, it's above 700. Good. Well, that worked. Okay, I don't need you anymore. You can all go again. I just needed to get some park rating. In the meanwhile, guest 69 was dumped somewhere in panic. Oh, they actually found some path again. Well, hopeful as you may be that you will escape this nightmare alive, that doesn't happen. Not on my watch, bitch. And guest 69 has drowned. Ooh, we finally got a merry-go-round. I like that your very first chat ever, Kolololem, is deserved to someone who didn't do anything and was killed. Really speaks of your phenomenally moral character. But I don't really have room to be a moral soldier here because, well, I was the one who did the drowning. With great pleasure, I might add. Alright, let's have a little drink. Yeah, nice. And the park rating is below 700 again. Well, I'll worry about that when I need to. The guests just aren't happy enough. Look at this, if we go to the inspect park rating, only 314. Guest 69 shouldn't cost channel points, it's becoming a tradition. You know, if I start murdering for free, then I violate the no free murders Twitch guideline. Because when you guys pay for it, I can hide it under the guise of I'm just a hitman, it's my job. If I start doing it for free, especially targeting specific guests, then they'll be on my ass and I might go to prison. So I don't think that's the best idea. Yep. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. So, yeah, murdering for free, you know. That will get me jailed at some point. Let's build another coaster. Ooh, how about a very simple yet effective twister coaster? How do you pick a random quote? Do exclamation mark quote. I absolutely love that quoting function. It's so lovely. You know, you get to quote and kind of remember stuff, but you also get so many out of context things, which is just hilarious. that's not gonna fit. No, not a quarter loop, you idiot. That looks really odd. Like, not smooth at all. Neither does that. It's because of that piece. Okay, how about that? 2 trains of 7 cars. The sloshing chamber pot. Which ride? We have quite a few already. No, that's too hellish. Oh, I like that. And yes, it involves purple again. Don't hate me for that. I just have a boner for purple. The coaster you just built, I guess. Alright. Kind of sloshes you around. There you go. 6.11 excitement, 6.14 intensity, 2.83 nausea. Well, we can charge 20 now at least. Hey, look at that. We actually have a good park rating now without entertainer spam. These train colors look too default to me. Okay, that's better. Now they no longer look too default. I'm allergic for anything, for trains or coasters that look like a default color scheme. I think it's just because I've seen way too much of those. I've built so many coasters that I've seen those default color schemes too much. I will never understand how Marcel just builds a coaster without any testing. I mean, it's a really short coaster, right? You have 3 booster pieces. So out of experience, I will know that the top speed is about 70. Well, it's 72. And I know that it'll make a loop. And if it makes a loop nicely, then it'll be fine the speed after that as well. And it had literally 2 elements, a loop and a dive loop. And then the turn after that. I mean, it can take all these, without excessive G's, it can take all these turn pieces at up to 140 kilometers an hour. This medium banked turn goes up to 160. The large banked turns up to 200. And the large unbanked turns up to 140. So, obviously those are not going to be a problem. And this junior coaster, I mean, its top speed is like 50, and not even. You can literally do anything you want at 50. It's impossible to get extreme lateral G's at 50 kilometers per hour. Well, unless you have tiny turns, but this coaster doesn't have tiny turns. That's a wild mouse thing. So then you just, go down, don't go up too much. And if you have some experience, it's not very difficult to see that this coaster will, well, obviously make it. Because we go from 46.5. We first go only down to 36. Then we go up to 39. Which is, yeah, obviously it'll make that. Because that's down 7 units and up only 2. But that's mostly an experience thing. It's not a thing that I think consciously about. It's just, I just see the roller coaster and I know whether it'll make it or not. You just judge it based on experience. And you're not always right. Like, for these small ones, yeah, I'm pretty much always right, but they're very small. For the bigger ones, yeah, I make mistakes, obviously. These boosters are so overpowered for the strong LSM boosters, for the twister coaster, etc. You just need a few booster pieces. Like, we have 3 on that coaster, and it already goes 70. And 70 is plenty to do fun things with. You know, you can do loops, you can do dive loops, you can do decent-ish hills. What's your favorite kind of pie? Apple. Or apple crumble. Kind of changes, I like both. I think generally apple though. You know what kind of pies my mom used to bake every year on our birthday? Both for me and my brother. She would bake... I forgot exactly what kind of cake, but some kind of cake that wasn't apple. And she would, in whipped cream, write our name and our age on it. No, not rice. Not rice to fly. It was always very lovely. Mine would also have her age on it, of course. Because, you know, double birthday. Okay, let's decorate all the entrance buildings more with those kind of things. Rice to fly is nice. It doesn't sound nice at all. Why would I want rice in a pie? It's like rice pudding. You know, I've had rice pudding once as dessert because people said it was nice. And I think my brother made it or my dad, I don't know. And it was like, no, I don't want rice in dessert. That was so very much not nice. I don't understand how people like that. Like, rice is a hot thing that you put under sauces and stuff. You know, it's absolutely lovely. Love rice. But not in a dessert or any kind of sweet thing. Have you never tried mochi? Mochi? I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't even know if it's a Dutch or English word. Mochi. Let me Google it. No. I don't think I ever have. You know, there's probably some kind of sweet thing, pastry thing with rice that I would like. But I've never experienced one, and the thought kind of makes me shudder. Okay, yeah, but rice flour is different from rice. Like, I don't like tomatoes. I just don't like the taste of tomatoes. But put it through a thing, like tomato sauce or tomato ketchup or just tomato in a salad, I'm perfectly fine. It adds nicely to the taste. But I don't like just eating tomatoes. And that might be, you know, rice flour is in that case very different from rice. You might very much dislike rice and still like rice flour. Not that I dislike rice, I just dislike rice in a sweet air, in a sweet environment. Oh yeah, there's different kinds of rice too as well, of course. What mods are you using? Open RSET2. Have you tried rice in a sweet environment? Yes, we had rice pudding as dessert once. That was at least 10 years ago. I think longer, because I think it was still in Ruine. So I think it was more at least... we moved out there in 2013? So it would have been before that. I don't know if it was before 2010. I don't know if my dad was still alive, but... a long time ago, and I didn't like it. I just didn't like also the texture. I really hated the texture of the rice in my, well, in my pudding. And it's not like I'm sensitive with textures. Like some autistic people have that, right? I don't. It's just that that particular texture I hate it. Ah, so we're gonna drown pie. That's appropriate. What was the downfall of roller coaster? Just bought a new one, it's so painful. New one, which Roller Coaster Tycoon World? Roller Coaster Tycoon Switch? Also, 314 is gone. 315 is the new 314. Either way, if you buy any Roller Coaster Tycoon title, other than 1, 2, 3 or Classic, you've made a mistake. Adventures, that's for the Switch, right? Yeah. If you can still get your money back, do so. It's horrid. I've never played it, but I know it's horrid. Also, hang on. Need a bit more space. You know what, I'm gonna be lazy. I'll just raise the ground of whatever space I didn't use again later. I don't care that it's a waste of money. Is Adventure the one we saw the buggy looping, right? I'm not sure. I forget. But it's terrible. Place water in the space you don't use. Nah. I prefer ground. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-doo-dee-doo. Absolutely love that rock style too. Alright, no minimum waiting time. Oh god, I will have to do it tile by tile. Well, unless... Haha! Haha! Hello, Marcel II. Wait, when were you born? Because you might be Marcel I if you're older than me. "1986. Damn it, you're 10 years older than I am. Hello, Marcel I. Statistically, you were gonna be older than me. Because most people are older than me. On here. He's Dutch too. What are the odds? I mean, with that name, pretty high. I wonder though, is anyone here older than Momvos? Who is currently 59. I've lived close by Ruine as well. I lived in De Wijk for 13 years. I never really been much to De Wijk. I've been there like maybe once or twice in my life. Never had a reason to go there. Never had a friend who lived there. My brother had a friend who lived there. Ruben, but Ruben was a dick. Ever been in Wolverhampton, my hometown? I know I've been there. I don't know much about it. But I know I've been there. A lot of people from the Wijk for dicks. You know, my brother was older than me. Why can I place fences there but not there? Like, I know there's a scenery item on there, right? But why is the clearance different between the two items? Anyway, my brother's older than me, so naturally his friends were too. So there's a bit of an odd dynamic there, right? There's always a bit of an odd dynamic between the friends of your siblings and you. But most of my brother's friends were perfectly fine to me. You know, we sometimes played games together, or something like that. Except one. He was a bit of a dick. Ah, screw it. There we go. What do you think of Rockstyle 4? That's a new one. Well, let's listen to it, shall we? This is not rock style, this is metal. This is very much metal. Doesn't sound very RCT to me, but you know, I don't mind the music being a metalhead. But this doesn't sound like Roller Coaster Tycoon to me at all. There's a bit where it gets nicer. It's pretty nice. It's just not RCT. I think we've heard the entire thing. Not one I will use. Okay, let's build the maze ride in a more proper space. Or as we call it in Dutch, a good day ride. Or, yeah, good day ride. Or to use the proper Dutch name, een goedendag attractie. You're only about halfway through the song. Oh well. We're actually doing not too bad on the finances. How rich are guests? 70, 60, 50, 60, 50, 50, 50, 40. We should probably... Whee! Whee! Do that. I don't know if it needs to be said, but as a Dutch whose first language is English and can't tolerate Dutch accents, I must say your English has improved very nicely compared to earlier videos. Thank you. Although, I still have a notable Dutch accent, which I don't mind. It's just that every now and then some Dutch asshole will come along and be all annoyed. Like, it's the funniest thing. The only people ever complaining about my accent are Dutch people. And I'm sure that this will go for pretty much any language. Like, as long as you're understandable, most people complaining about your accent are people from that country. Because, yeah, I have a notable Dutch accent. But that doesn't mean my English is bad. But Dutch people will literally call my English terrible because I have a noticeable Dutch accent. It's like, that's not what terrible English means. Like, my writing in English is pretty much perfect. On the live stream, it's not as perfect because, you know, it's live. And that makes it a bit more difficult. But I make very few, like, grammar mistakes in English when I write my videos. Just that I have a noticeable but not too bad Dutch accent. And I know it. Like, it's not like those people make me think that I'm bad. Because I know I'm not. It's just that I find it so odd. Like, what is it about Dutch people and probably people from other countries too, that as soon as someone has a Dutch accent, or French people a French accent, or German people a German accent, we consider, or a lot of people consider it bad English. We have a term, right? Steenkolen-Engels. Literally translated stone cold English, and it just means bad English. Usually it's reserved for people who speak English with a lot of Dutch in between. So, you know, dan gaan ze English speaking with a lot of Nederlandse words in between. Something like that. And yeah, that's proper bad English. That's not what speaking with an accent is. And you know what's interesting? I can handle, if it's on my channel, a comment on my channel, I can handle people being wrong about Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like, if someone's wrong about how the park rating functions or whatever, that's fine, you know. I'll correct them if I can be bothered. And it doesn't really bother me, because, you know, people be wrong. For some reason, I can't handle it when people are wrong about other stuff on my channel. Like the usage of the word steenkolen-Engels. Or even worse, recently, well, not recently, is when people say that I'm wrong about a certain bug in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 because that's not how physics works. They'll say it's just the Barkista Cone when it's bloody not. And I can't handle that so much that I've written an entire video saying that, hey, shut up, this is not the Barkista Cone curve. I am right, you're wrong. That video will go live tomorrow. Because you know that bug, right? Where, I've mentioned it in several videos. Where if you have two coasters falling from the same height, if then one with a steep drop, one with a vertical drop, the one with the vertical drop has a higher top speed. That's a bug. It should experience more friction and does have a lower top speed. But the game actually thinks that the drop is about 10% higher than it actually is for the steep drop, so you gain more speed than you should. Whenever I mention that, I get people commenting, oh, this is just a Barkista Cone curve. No. It actually makes sense that it's a higher top speed. And for some reason, I can't handle those comments. I don't know why, but they infuriate me. Bandam. I mean, they mean well. Like, if I was truly wrong, then sure, you know, correct me. I'm wrong plenty of times. But yeah, I've written an entire video about, no, I am right, you're wrong. Do they though? Do they what? Do they mean well? I presume they do. Like, they don't say it in a mean way. They don't say, hey bitch, you're wrong. They say, hey, I think that's the Barkista Cone curve, right? Or something like, oh, that bit at 411, that's actually not wrong, that's the Barkista Cone curve. Here's a video by Vsauce on it. So the comments will be nice enough. Not much wrong with that. I don't like these oak trees here. It's just that for some reason I can't handle those. And I don't delete them, like, I'm not that much of a dick, but I will often respond to them. Nicely, of course. Or make an entire call-out video. Why link Vsauce's video when they could link your own video? Well, because they might not know I've made that video. That was years ago. There's someone who did. Someone who was a bit like, hey Marcel, this is actually the Perkisterkrone curve. You showed this yourself years ago. No! F off. It's not the bloody Perkisterkrone video. It's not the Perkisterkrone curve. We're talking about top speed here, not travel time from A to B. Sod off. Drown Slime. We don't have a slime. What number would slime be? Keep in mind that 69 is already gone. $69 420. Mate, we're just past 1,000. That's not gonna happen. Better keep at it, man. With the cheat button, I could get there soon enough. But that's gonna be a fun quote for Slime to discover. I could drown 1,069 as soon as they're in the park. That would nicely be the cost of that thing. The castle is already getting sort of full. Can we buy any more land? No. Unfortunately. Find the guest carrying Schrobbler. What the hell is Schrobbler? I like the way it sounds, but I don't know what it is. Okay, so yeah, that's the big downside of this castle scenario. There really ain't much space. Alcoholic drink. Ah. Yeah, I don't really do alcohol much, so... Rename guest 96 Slime. Why is 96 still alive? No. So that's not gonna happen. Slime single-handedly turned it into a meme in another community. Now did he? I'll say I'm not surprised. Man, the way you say that reminds me of my addiction of trying to make non-Dutch people say the Dutch G or CH. So you want Schrobbler. Because I'm Dutch, I can say it. 1069 when it's there. I think it's already there now, yes. It's a good thing that Slime isn't here, because he hates that sound. He's Brabants, which means he's allergic to the sound. You know what's funny to me? People in foreign countries, well, not all foreign countries, but like English folks and stuff, They often react like, how can you make that sound without hurting your throat? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just a sound. But yeah, if you're not used to that, and you hear someone go, then that might sound a bit troubling. That game looks so old. It doesn't to me, but that's because Fortnite looks better. Mate, you've come to the wrong place. Bait, obviously that's bait. Obviously that's bait. Hey, someone texted me. I should put my phone on silent. Hang on. Anyway. What's up, Rolo? Welcome to the stream. No, text them back. It's a friend of mine who I don't know what he texted, but he said something like, from the little bit I saw, it was, I think, a kind of offensive joke. Rolo, check it. Read it out loud. What? You know exactly what he sent. You're in the same group. Well, let's see. Oh, never mind. It was not a joke. It was a question from another friend of us. Whether we could look through his resume. I'm not gonna read that on stream. For some reason I thought he was gonna send like an edgy joke from the little like shortened text I could see at the top of my phone. I don't know why. I only very quickly glanced at it, so didn't get much from it. What is closer to you, Israel or the Caucasus? Oh, good question. I think the Caucasus, because they're basically... No, they're behind Israel. It's gonna be a very small difference. I wouldn't know, actually. They're gonna be very close together. Name the wild mice the Dixie mice. Why? What's the reasoning behind that name? I hope this woody is long enough. I think it will be. I don't know the answer. I looked at the map, but it's hard to tell right away because of the projection. I mean, we can try, right? If I go to incognito, I go to maps. Yeah, shut up. And I'll just take the center of Groningen. Which is roughly there. To Israel, it's 3181 kilometers. And from here to the Caucasus, which start about here, oh, it's 2600 kilometers. Okay, so yeah, the Caucasus are significantly closer. Could have just dragged this as well. Even Azerbaijan is still closer, which is kind of the middle of the Caucasus. Instead of Dizzy, a Dixie toilet. Don't you spell Dixie with 2 I's? Right. Ooh. Let's do that the other way around. Oh, I like that. Dixie with IE. Honestly, I wouldn't know. How about we make these maroon? Okay, what are the stats? Okay, it is long enough. 6.38, 6.82, 3.84. Those are pretty decent stats. I kind of want a Ferris wheel. Let's do no more roller coaster for a while after this. We have quite enough. Okay, so we're actually behind with with the guests that we need. We're not gaining guests quick enough. So let's advertise. Hi Rakassen, welcome and welcome Heiliges Kabutops and King Pop. I see you too. Your first chat ever. I do find it very funny that I can see that. There's no lurking in that sense. You can lurk, but as soon as you speak, I know that you're a newbie. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think it's important for bot detection or otherwise so. I mean, the first time chat is quite recent. That wasn't there when I started streaming, I believe. Let's build a reverser coaster. You clicked on your advertising campaign and in got a commercial on the side of the screen. Oh, that's a nice coincidence. How much more can we... Okay, not that much more apparently. But we will gain much more income with the advertising. Okay, let's build a reverser coaster right here. I'll need to make that go up. Otherwise, we don't have the station space. If you could buff the stat of any coaster model in the game, what would it be? None. I'm perfectly happy with the stats as they are. Well, this is ugly. Bruh. 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 Okay, now we're so zoomed in that you can't really see how ugly it is anymore. Ah, gotta love this pixel art. This is still hilarious. Like, at this zoom level, it looks rather normal. But zoom out, and it looks absolutely hilarious. You can still recognize it. You don't need many pixels to recognize stuff. which is rather interesting. There's a merry-go-round somewhere here. Yeah, that's still a merry-go-round. And that's still a park entrance. And this is the perfect way to play, isn't it? There's my roto drop. I can't see shit. Now you can manage many parks at once. Yes. Alright, let's get back to our reverser coaster. Oh, need new ad campaigns. I really love your shenanigans. Why, thank you. Either way, the point is, this looks hideous. The collision and Z-fighting and drawing and whatever is horrible for those scenery pieces. That was kind of the point, and then I got distracted in zooming in way too much and messing about. Did you know that if you go through too fast through these turns on a coaster like this, it will actually fly off the turn and crash? Like, we're just about safe here, but you shouldn't go much faster. If you did know that, you didn't, that's a lie. You can take these turns as fast as you want and it won't crash. Only the ghost ride will crash. Or haunted, the ghost, what is it called? The ghost train or the haunted mansion ride. It will crash if it gets airtime. Now that's true. It is one of those without upstop wheels. I did really like opening my myth busting video with the thing of, hey, did you know some foods like popcorn are salty, which make your guests need to drink more. And then, well, if you did know that, no you didn't. That's not true. Because I'm pretty sure that there were quite a few people watching that video that were like, yeah, I knew that. I heard of that. That's a neat fact. And then I was like, psych. I think we'll need to go over this. Yeah, that'll work nicely. There we go. Can you imagine RCT remastered with petty micromanagement stuff like salty popcorn? You know, I had a talk about this with my brother. He asked me, what would you change if they remastered RCT? And I was at first, my stance was like, well, they shouldn't change anything because it's the same game, right? But then he argued and convinced me that, well, you know, if we're gonna remaster it, you might as well change a whole lot of stuff and make it, you know, remove some of the bugs and improve a lot of functionality and maybe do some of that stuff. And yeah, he was absolutely right. If we're gonna change it, we might as well make all that stuff better. Because it's a new game anyway. You know, the core stuff will be the same. Oh, look at that. We got a crash. Whee! Boing. Whee! Boing. Whee! Boing. Will this be fine? Well, we'll find out. OpenRCT2 does remove some bugs and improve the interface. Yeah, it does. So, you know, OpenRCT2 already does. And I don't agree with some of them. But that's mostly because, you know, I make YouTube videos. And if something, if a behavement is different between OpenRCT2 and RCT2 Vanilla, then I will, in my videos, I have to clarify that every time, and that's just annoying. Okay, that's fine without guests. That might crash with guests. But there's only one way to find out. Good luck, everyone. I hope you survive. Not that there's really a point with remastering RST, is there? The pixel graphics stand the test of time and the gameplay works without lacking any obvious functionality. They could do so much more. They could like implement a whole new goal system, which Max tried to do in OpenRCT2, but for various reasons that didn't work out. You know, have proper multiplayer. They could perhaps hold contests where you could submit through the game. Something like that. You could do so much more with that. And properly upscale all the graphics. Hang on. AoE to definitive. Let's see. Original versus definitive. I'll show you what I mean. So, this is Age of Empires 2, original versus definitive. Well, 1999 against 2000. The definitive edition, it captures exactly the same spirit, but it looks so much better because it's just, you know, higher resolution and stuff. Sounds like basically adding expansions using a remaster as an excuse. Basically, yeah, add tons of new flat rides, roller coasters, items, what's it called, track pieces, special elements, stuff like that. Here another one, a very good one. Look at the difference between the trees. The trees look the same, as in, you got the same spirit. They just look a lot better. The remastering was done perfect in Age of Empires 2. It just looks so much better. And if they just could do that in RST2, this was for Age of Empires 1, same idea. You could absolutely do that for RST2 as well. You just have to, well, keep the same style, you know. Keep it with the isometric and just 4 views. Keep all that. Just hey, why is no one going on here? Oh, I don't have a reverser piece. Oh, people are going on it, but yeah, that's terribly low excitement because it has no reverser piece. That should have no bearing whether they're going on it though, it's just because it's raining. Well, time to invent a reverser piece, I guess. Oh, I just removed the pathways. It doesn't fit. Well, your mum doesn't fit, mate. Fuck you, now it fits. Rip that house. Ugh. You know, there were contests back in the day for RST2. They even had maps released specifically for contests. That you could download off the internet, like 20 years ago. You could totally do that now, just, you know, submit it, you know, do that through the game itself. There's so many options there. And as much as I don't like Atari for what they've done with the game in recent years, I would still absolutely, you know, help in any way I can if they decided to go for a remaster and approached me for help. Oh, go away. There we go. You don't want them to change much of the game, just add auxiliary content to give people more to do within the existing engine. Not necessarily, because, you know, make the stat calculation a bit better. Like, remove all the glitches, maybe add, like, another thing, like, maybe not forwards or backwards Gs, because you would have to change a lot in how a lot of things work. But, you know, maybe refine things a little bit. Remove the bugs, like with the one that I talked about, that the steep coaster gets a lot of things. You know, maybe remove how the bug that the steep hill gains more speed than it should. Maybe change the way that the ride pricing works, so that it's more like shop prices, where if you do it too high, then some guests will still pay, but some will not, instead of the hard cutoffs that it's right now. You know, remove park value bombs from working. Make that better. Basically, you could improve all of stuff. Fix guest pathing. Yeah, you know, make pathing a lot better. You know, perhaps make it possible to build like paths under these kind of gates and have guests actually walk through like a gate like that. You could all do so much stuff with that and keep it Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Absolutely. Rename Rock Songs to Metal. Well, it's only Rockstyle 4, which is from OpenRST2. That's not in the original. That's actually metal. Getting another gentle ride. I want thrill rides. We only have 3 thrill rides currently. It does sound like it would be close to what we actually wanted RST3 to be. Well, I never wanted RST3 to be anything because I was 7 when RST3 came out. I was too young. But I loved RST3. Why are there 2 giant bums fighting in the middle of the park? Now it's 20 bums. You mean these? I mean, it's a castle, right? It makes sense that there's people doing the fighting thing. Problem with this scenario is it's kind of on the small side. You have way too little space. Also, I need to redo that path piece. There you go, laddie. We are still intact. No one has died on this ride. Yeah, we're absolutely close to going 50 there. That's dangerous. You're just so big. Hey, that was a secret between you and me. Well, and Slime's mom. Okay, that should be fine. You built outside in your previous streams of this park. Did I? I don't remember. We don't own the land, so if I did, I'd have cheated. The public deserves to know. Well, what shall we do? Size reveal at 20 million subs? Or is that too easy? I was Slime's mom. Oh, a lovely lady. She baked me some cake. And we played Monopoly. $20 million Twitch subs or YouTube subs? 20 million Twitch subs would be insane. That would net you like 50 million a month. That would absolutely be insane. No one on the planet has that, right? Hang on. Who has the most Twitch subs? 140,000 is the current highest. So yeah, no one's even close to 20 million. Twitch would love that, of course, because that would also mean they make big bank. What size? Cock size. Well, I never specified the size. Could be the size of my feet. I do have actually rather large feet. Size 46. Oh, I accidentally had early completion on. Well. Ugh. I'm starving to get to the 1,000 subs on YouTube. Well, you'll get there someday. Americans and EUians don't use the same system. Oh, I know. I know that Americans have no idea what size 46 is. Well, I do know that size 46 is like impossibly big in America. It's like, isn't like size like 13 already pretty big there? Hang on, shoe size 46 EU to US, that's 11 in the US. Or 10.5 in the UK. Wait, why is a size 11 in the US, 10.5 in the UK? Who came up with that? That's like if Fahrenheit was just Celsius -3 or something. So I'm a size 11. But hang on, if you do that, doesn't that mean that? Because what do you measure size in like, how precise do you go in the US? Because like we have a clear difference between 46 and 47. So my feet, like a 47 will clearly be too big for me. And 45 too small. But if 46 is size 11, I don't know if it's a multiplicative thing, but that's like 4 times smaller, that number. So that would mean that 11 and a quarter would already be too big. But I think I've only ever heard like half shoe sizes in the US. But if it's a linear relationship, or like a 1-to-1 relationship, then a half shoe size in the US would be 2 shoe sizes in Europe, which is way too big a thing to measure with. Wait, 13 US is 47.5 EU? What? Okay. Then it's definitely not a linear relationship. Hang on. US to EU shoe size chart. Let's have a look. So 6 is 39. 6.5 is also 39. 7 is 40. Okay, so you just start much lower. It goes up in the same size. Hang on, what size shoes do kids have? Because kids have like, I don't know, it's like size 12. Do you use a different shoe size for kids or something like that? Children have their own chart. Of course they do. I mean, to be fair, we do the same for clothes. It goes from like, I don't know, like 50 to 170. And then you start to get into adult measurements. Ah yes, kid shoe size. Male and female sizes are different. That's so overly complicated. To be fair, you know, this is another thing that US does things stupid. I'm guaranteed, it's almost guaranteed there are things that the US does a lot better than Europe in kind of like simplicity or complicatedness. I don't know any by heart, but there's bound to be some. Miles, kilometers don't really make sense either. It's linear, just wrong. I mean, as just a unit on their own, like, they're the same. Because they're both just an arbitrary unit. The benefit of the kilometer, of course, is that it plays well with other units. You can convert it easily to anything, and, you know, you easily work well with other things, other kinds of units. That's the benefit of meters, kilometers, etc. But in terms of just as a unit on its own, like, there's no advantage to either of them. You know what I do find hilarious? Because, you know, there are people on Reddit, like, arguing is Fahrenheit or Celsius better, and they're, you know, their argument for both. And a thing that people for Fahrenheit often use is they say, well, you know, 0 to 100 Fahrenheit is kind of like cold to hot, right? Because 0 is like minus 18 Celsius, and 100 Fahrenheit is like 38 Celsius, something like that. hang on, 0 Fahrenheit to Celsius. So, and they'll, in their argument, they'll go like, you know, 0 to 100 is easy, but minus 18 to 38 is just random numbers. How do you memorize that? Not realizing that in that case you would just say minus 20 to 40. And yeah, in my head, if you say minus 20, oh, that's really bloomin' cold. 40, that's really bloomin' hot. If you use that, if you translate that back to Fahrenheit, you also get hyper-specific numbers. But of course you get if you translate from one unit to the other. That doesn't mean that one is better. But that leads me into another thing that I find weird, and I've mentioned before. Ooh, the Ferris wheel, I wanted that. You know how it's a big thing in dating, right? That people say, well, women only go for men over 6 feet. Despite the fact that that's only like 10% of the US population or something like that, maybe 15, 20, I'm not sure. Small percentage, either way. It's a thing, apparently, that women only go for people over 6 feet. And if you're over 6 feet tall, you're considered fairly tall. And I say women, it's like only a few, but still, that's the thing. But then, if you do that in normal units, then the limit is 180 centimeters. But those are not the same. 6 feet is 183 centimeters. And the 180 centimeters is a 5'11", that's what I am. So the threshold for what we consider tall differs based on the measurements that you use. Someone could be the exact same height, and the exact same person would consider them either not tall or tall, a different judgment based on the units that they use. Isn't that fascinating? I find that absolutely fascinating. It makes sense. People make decisions and form opinions in a very rapid fire and immediate processing of information. Yeah. I know where it comes from. And you're right. But it's valuable to think about that, right? To think about how are your perceptions influenced by completely arbitrary stuff. One of the great misrepresentations in history was that Napoleon was short. He was in fact average height for his era. Wasn't he even slightly above average? Wasn't it that like English and French inches were different? So that he was like reported as 5'2" in French measurements. Which was like equivalent to about 5'6" or 5'7" in English measurements. But they just went with 5'2" and was like, shorty. I'm like 5'7" average for my country, but I will say that the distance between two cities we use kilometers. I am 180 centimeters, which is slightly below average. The average is 183 for people my age. Well, men my age. I'm not short though. I would still, I would still consider myself average. Because you have two kind of averages. Like you have average as in one absolute value, that's the true average. And if you say I'm of average height, then you just mean I'm in like one standard deviation of the average or whatever, you know, close to the average. That whole obsession with tallness for men makes me sick anyway. It's a bit weird, right? My brother is, you know, on the small side. He's 173, which would be about, hang on, 173 centimeters in feet. Slightly below 5'7". No wait, 5'8" and a bit, so about 5'8", never mind. He's about 5'8", which is a bit short here. It's about average in America, but it's a bit short here. Yet, he found a wonderful wife. And they're married. I got married last year. Absolutely wonderful. As far as I know, hasn't had any issues in dating. His wife is taller than I am. She's like 183? 182? And I never talked to him about it, you know, whether he considered his height to be an issue in dating. But I never heard him about it either. Is his wife taller than him? Well, yeah. I'm taller than him and his wife's taller than me. You know, this thing is surprisingly close to crashing. It might crash if we get a load of fat guests. Which would be hilarious, of course. Any death is good. You know, there's of course nothing wrong with height being a turn-off. Like, I would probably not date a woman who was 2 meters tall. I'm not saying I definitely won't, but that would be very tall. And probably, you know, probably be a bit of a turn-off to me. Of course, you know, people are not just their height, but there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't judge people as, you know, on their value of that. Why does this have a color? It doesn't do anything. Nothing changes. It's apparently also, because of the whole obsession with height in the US, at least, probably also other countries, but as usual, I know most about the US, because Reddit and the internet, of course, is that guys apparently lie about their height quite a lot. They'll say that they're 6 feet, even though they're like 5'10". I've never experienced that here. You know, I know my height. So whenever I meet someone, I know their height. Not precisely, of course, but roughly. And I've never experienced someone lying about their height. Like, sure, a centimeter maybe, because, you know, I can't check that. But not that in a way that I was like, hang on, that's not right. I would date a 2-meter tall girl if she was a muscle mommy on top of that. I'm 5 feet 11.5 inches, so I rounded to 6 feet. Yeah, that's like 182 centimeters to 182, so you're like rounding up to 183. That's a centimeter different. Like that's not a thing you would really notice much, right? The same apparently goes for dick size, by the way. You know, tons of stories on Reddit. They're all typed in English, but presumably they're not all from the US. Where it's like, yeah, my ex was 8 inches. And that guy, you know, the average is 7 inches. Like, no, it's not. That's not how it works. Do people take a yardstick to their partner in bed or something? No, the thing is, they don't. And since, like, you think you're not gonna measure it, and you'll be like, oh, I'm 7 inches, and your partner, well, believes that, they're not gonna measure it, then you get a whole weird distorted view of what the average is. And that's not the best thing in the world. Also, you know what an expression is that I absolutely hate? It's whenever you see someone driving in like a big ugly pickup truck, right? You know, a Ford F-250 or one of those. We've all seen them. People say, oh, he must be compensating for something. Or when someone does something cool, like a Chad move, basically. They're like, ooh, big dick energy. I don't like that. Because that's basically body shaming. Also, I don't think that's really true anyway. And I've said this before, but I would absolutely love a study into the average dick size of truck drivers, like pickup truck drivers. It would be hilarious if it turns out that their average dick size is just average instead of small. Because apparently they gotta compensate. What if it turns out it actually is small? Well, then we do probably know the reason. They need to compensate because people constantly tell them it's bad to have a small penis. Yeah, it's reductive language. If someone does something really cool and you say, oh, he got big dick energy, it's like, so, you know, having a small dick is not cool? It's just body shaming. It's the same as saying like being small. Like, I don't know, small as in short in height. Like if you're 1.70 m, which is like 5'6", 5'7", that's then you're not cool. It's the same thing. That's also just not cool. In middle school there was a short little dude that loved to walk around naked in the gym lockers. This nickname became Horse Stick. Well, I guess he was pretty young. Now, I remember there was a guy in my class named Nick. And it was, I think, the first year of high school. And we had just had gym class and, you know, we all showered. And apparently, I didn't see it, but apparently he had a small penis. At the time. We were like 11 and 12, first year of high school. So he hadn't even gone through puberty yet. But all the guys, well, most of the guys, started singing Nick has a small dick. Well, in Dutch, but it still rhymed in Dutch. Nick heeft een kleine pik. The girls' locker room was next door and they heard it. Well, that must have not been nice for him. I absolutely feel sorry for him. That's just bullying. Yes, it is. But the funny thing is, we were 11 or 12, like, for all we know, 5 years later, he was hung. Maybe he wasn't. Could be either way. The point is, it's just, I mean, it's just bullying anyway. It's not cool anyway, even if he was already an adult and wasn't going to grow again. We had a bully that used to throw his lock over the top of the locker bank to see who he could randomly hit. He hit this kid square in the face. That's not nice. You know, I was bullied a bit in high school. But at least I was not bullied for that kind of stuff. And I was a bit overweight in high school, but I wasn't even really bullied for that. I was never really bullied for my physical appearance. Which is a good thing. You know what's kind of sad? Like, in hindsight, a kind of sad experience that I had in university. I mean, it's a very good experience, but it's sad that I had that experience. When I went to uni, there was something missing. It felt weird. You know what was missing? People randomly making rude and insulting remarks. That didn't happen in uni. But I was so used to it that I expected it to happen. Not even consciously. It's just the fact that it didn't happen stood out to me. And it took me a while to realize. For a while, I realized, hey, something's different, but I didn't know what. And it was basically, hey, people are nice here. So it's kind of sad that I had that experience, because it means that it was normal in high school. But also good that it didn't happen in uni. There's this South Park episode about how lots of people are pissed off all the time, and after research, others come out to realize it's because their dick size is below the national average. They solve the situation by lowering the national average. Just saying, hey, the national average is now this, and then people are happy. That's such a South Park thing. Want a high school bullying story I like to share. My brother got married a few years ago. His best man was both of our high school bully in high school. This dude straight up came to me during the bachelor party. Hey dude, I'm sure you remember what I did to you in high school. Can you forgive me? We were playing Smash Bros. Dude, you realize you were bullying me for liking games like this, right? Who cares? That's a weird thing, yeah. Because I was gonna talk about that. In primary school, if you played Pokemon, everyone did. It was cool. In high school, it wasn't cool to play Pokemon. In university, everyone played Pokemon. So, there was this one time I had a private biology lesson from my biology teacher, which sounds weird, but there was, due to some circumstances, I was the only one in the class to be there. Either way, we got through all the material really quickly, because that's what happens if there's only one person. So about, you have 50 minutes a lesson, and it took us like 20 minutes to get through it. So after that, we just chit-chatted a bit about whatever. And I mentioned at some point, with one of my friends, we play a lot of games like Pokemon, Mario. Very, a lot of fun. And, she was interested, or pretended to be interested at least, as a teacher is to a high school kid. I think I was like 16 at the time. Yeah, we played tons of Mario and Pokemon. And then I mentioned that to my friend, who was in a different biology class. I mentioned that like a day later, and he was shocked. He literally said, "Dude, don't say that." He was scared that our classmates found out that he played Pokemon and he played Mario. Isn't that sad? I don't necessarily blame him, because, people do bully you for random stuff. But the fact that he thinks like that is a sad product of the environment. In high school you try to be cool, and at uni you don't care anymore. For me it was like that. It was basically, in high school, I didn't really try to be cool, but in high school it's worth it to try to be cool. In uni, you will find like-minded people. Like, the Pokemon thing is still very much, like, suddenly everyone played Pokemon. Taking your DS to campus was normal. So that you could play a bit of Pokemon in between lectures or whatever. If you had, spare, like, free periods or something. The older I get, the less Fs I give. Oh, I mean, I don't give any Fs anymore. I'm only 27. I mean, obviously I do give some Fs, right? I don't go walking outside shirtless. I do give some Fs what other people think about me. I do adhere to some social rules, like everyone does. But I don't really give Fs about liking what I like. Like, I'm hardcore into speed skating statistics. And I don't hold back when people ask me about it. I've turned it into my goddamn job. I make money with it now. Like, that's the thing. I'm a nerd in two things: Roller Coaster Tycoon and speed skating. And I make money now with both. So it pays off. So if you want to make fun of me for that, well, it's money from me, baby. No one makes fun of me, at least not to my face, so, you know, people have matured as well. Money in the statistics as well. Well, I do sports commentary now. Well, speed skating commentary, of course, specifically. On the ISU YouTube channel. And it kind of combines my two main skills that I practice a lot, which is speaking, which, you know, kind of my English, both on the live streams and the videos, but more, you know, improv and live commentary is obviously only on the live stream. And knowing stuff about speed skating is on my Twitter account, which is all about speed skating statistics, where I tweet a lot. I just applied because they had a job opening, and they hired me. And the thing is, like, I have zero experience. Well, I guess. I had zero experience in sports commentary. I had watched a lot of speed skating commentary by the Dutch broadcaster, NOS. But I hadn't ever done it. They didn't care, they just hired me because I could do commentating, I knew a lot about speed skating statistics, I'd probably be fine. And I am fine. Like, I'm not the best. The skill I need to practice most still is actually talking you through the races, through the competition. Like, I'm good at knowing all the facts, giving the relevant facts, and having insight into, you know, that one's behind, but he usually has a fast ending, fast final few laps, so he still has a good chance to win. Stuff like that I'm very good at, but I'm not as good as just, you know, telling an interesting story around it. But that's a skill that's very unique to sports commentary. Because if I'm silent for a minute on the live stream, that's fine. Even half a minute. If you're silent for 30 seconds on the speed skating commentary, that's not fine. That you have to constantly speak. And also, if I'm doing the commentary here, I dictate what happens. I decide when I build a ride. I know what's gonna happen. Of course, sometimes a ride will crash or whatever, unexpected things will happen. Or I don't know what you guys will say, of course. But generally, I know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen on the speed skating. I can make decent predictions, but, you know, someone might skate very good, someone might skate not so good. Who knows? And it's much more difficult to give commentary on that. And that's a skill that I'm currently developing. This skill I hadn't really thought that much about. Marcel is going to be the commentator at the NOS for speed skating. Oh, I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Drown an entertainer. I will drown an entertainer for you. Hire an entertainer just to drown them. Bye bye, panda. And it being in English does make it more difficult, because my English is fine, but I'm much more better. Yeah, that's not fine English. I'm much better at Dutch, of course. Of course I am. It's my native language. Also, I know speed skating terminology a lot better in Dutch. because I always watch this Dutch broadcaster and the Dutch commentary. So yeah, I will be a lot better in Dutch anyway, but I think compared to my fellow commentators at this currently commentary project, because this is the first year the ISU does commentary for speed skating. Compared to them, I think I'm one of the better ones in terms of knowing facts, having the insight. But I think I'm not so good at, compared to them, at, you know, just talking it all together. You could be an analyst. Oh, absolutely. The NOS also has analysts. You'll have like 2 commentators. Usually during the competitions, and then in between the competition, like in between the distances during breaks, you'll have one host with 1 or 2 analysts. I would do an absolutely fine job being an analyst there. I'm positive. Of course, I wouldn't be as good as the current ones we already have, because it's definitely a skill. But that would be pretty good, I'd reckon. And honestly, I think that's where my future lies. Not necessarily in speed skating commentary, necessarily. But in stuff like that. I think it's pretty clear from what I'm doing on YouTube now. The commentary that I'm doing, of course, you're expanding your resume. Pretty sure my future lies in something like that. Making YouTube videos, doing some kind of commentary, being some kind of entertainer. It's what I'm good at. It's what I like doing. Have you ever checked NOS for openings? I'm pretty sure that's not a job you apply for, those kind of things. Because the only new ones we've had, we had the same 3 main commenters for speed skating for the past 8 years. 10 years. And the only occasional guests we've had are all ex-speed skaters. Like Jan Smekens, Michel Mulder, Anouk van der Weijden. People like that. Some Dutch folks might know who they are. It's not a regular job opening. I'm pretty sure you would need a lot of experience to even get into there. And 2 of the 3 main commentators are ex-speed skaters as well. Martin Hersman and Herbert Dijkstra. Only Erik van Dijk isn't. I'm pretty sure he already had a lot of previous experience as a journalist and stuff. What about a math degree? You're really good with numbers. Being good with numbers doesn't mean you're good at math. Like, also, seriously, what do I need a math degree for? Like, I'm good enough with numbers. I don't need a math degree to prove that I'm good with numbers. If I want to do something with math, I'll make YouTube videos about it and probably be at least mildly successful. I have quite good confidence that I could probably switch YouTube careers into something else. Maybe it's misplaced, maybe it's not, I don't know. I'm not gonna try until I really need or want to. But I'm confident. It's hard to replace good known commentator doing a good job. You can basically talk about stuff till you drop dead. Yeah, when Frank Snooks quit in 2014 as one of the 3 main speed skating commentators, I still miss him every day. Well, not every day is an exaggeration, but pretty much every time with speed skating I miss him, because He was the best we've ever had. Well, maybe not the best, because, you know, he was the best, at least, color commentator we've ever had. Martin Hersman was the best and still is the best, just, like, factual commentator we've ever had. But Frank Snooks was so amazing. And when he retired, we got Erik van Dijk, who is not as good as the other two, and definitely not when he started. But in the past few years, he's improved a lot, and I do like him now. Wait, I don't want that color. Doesn't Snooks do football commentary? Yes. Not sure if he still does, but he at least did. And interestingly, I know he's quite divisive in the football commentary. I know there are a lot of people who actively dislike his commentary. While in the speed skating community, he is almost pretty much universally beloved. But apparently there's something different in the footballing community or in his style in commentary when he does soccer that makes him divisive. Have you been and are you a fan of Stronghold Crusader? Absolutely. Great game. The camels are restless. A bad omen for you, I think. Or as the Caliph would say, Infidel! Absolutely classic. Classic lines. This was such a wonderful game. Played it quite a lot. Any chance of seeing you play it on stream? I should. I absolutely should. 100%. Was there no Dutch synchronization for the voice lines? Well, if there was, we had the English version. I'm not sure. I absolutely should play that. Such a lovely game. You know, if I get it running, I'll play it Sunday. By the way, Sunday stream will be in the afternoon instead of the evening. Because there's speed skating in the evening. And I don't have a commentary job this weekend, but I do want to watch it. So, we'll start 6 hours earlier than normal on Sunday. Also, I think I've had enough of this park. It's pretty filled. So for the remaining time of this stream, let's see. What we're gonna do, we've done this before. I'm gonna scroll randomly up and down. And you may pick a save file for me to open, and I'll tell something about it. I'll show you it. I'll say something about it. That's a lot of saves. Yeah, let me check how many. It is... Well, I probably shouldn't show that. Well, it doesn't really matter. 4,400 files. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing bad on here. But yeah, it's probably not the best idea to show this in case something would show up on here. So 4,400 files, but the autosave is 313 files. So about 4,100 save files. Someone wants to see Empty Park 4K. Well, it's 4,000 guests in an empty park. Well, pretty much empty anyway. What did you think it was? I know what this was for. This was for my video about what the highest number of guests is you can get. A very, very old video. More than 5 years old. And this was basically to prove that if you have just an empty park, and you speed it up, you will get guests. Very slowly, but you will get guests. That was the point of this park. Someone else wanted to see FF9000. Okay, before I load FF9000 for you, what do you think it means? Can anyone guess what FF9000 means? Almost there. Forest Frontiers 9k guests. Exactly. It's not the prettiest thing you've ever seen. But, yeah. This was a while ago. I could do better now. I don't need all these rights anymore to get 9,000 guests. But back then I did, because I wasn't good. I mean, I say I wasn't good. Like, being able to get 9,000 guests still means you're good, but not as good as I'm now. I lacked a lot of knowledge. It's kind of a fun design, this thing. Like a 4x9 design or something. I think a bit more than 9, maybe 4x11, 13, something like that. Excitement with cheats. Was that a save file? I think I tried to get an excitement record with cheats. I think I know that there. I think there's a hyper coaster with a hyper twister with 100 excitement in there. Excitement. I don't see excitement with cheats. So... Hang on, I can of course just search in my save thing. Cheats. What files do I have with cheats? Oh, excitement record with cheats. It's literally there. It's literally there. Excitement record with cheats. Jesus, I'm blind. Oh, would you look at that? It's a Giga... I mean, you can see the cheats here, right? It's a Giga Hyper Twister with 100.65 excitement. You can see exactly the cheats that I used. A lot of merging. And I guess the wrong trains because of the excitement factor bonus. That's how you get to 100. Well, an airtime abusement and stuff. It kind of goes uphill very slowly. And whenever a train's vertical, you get airtime. That's how you get all that 1959 seconds of airtime. You go up the lift hill at 1 km/h. At 1 comma. 1 km. What's the top speed you can get a roller coaster to without cheats? 386 on an empty train, I believe. Something around there. What others did people want to see? Flag 0. It's a very dense park, Flag 0. This is a Marcel park, right? Come on, this is a classic Marcel park. The organization of those flat rides, just, you know, 10 or 8 top spins, a bunch of motion sims and space rings, all of the death mazes, which aren't actually deadly, uncolored pride wheels, more space rings, microcasters. It is very much a Marcel park. Whatever was the goal here? To get 300,000 park value and repay the loan. Well, I think I did that. Yeah, I got the 700,000. So, goal completed, I guess. I think the goal was... Maybe the loan was just very high? Let's see. I think the loan was very high. That's why it took me a while, I guess. I should still have it. I don't know which difficulty it is in, though. I don't even know if it's called Flank 0, a scenario name. Well, if it is... I can't find it. Oh, the description says 250k in debt. Well, I guess we were 250k in debt. Well, yeah, you can see the minus. We're still on minus 99k here, and then I decided, you know what? I'm done with building rights. I'm just gonna pay back the loan. And you can see every time I advertised here. Advertise, advertise, advertise. Right. More save files. I like this. I like looking back at old stuff. Which one would you like to see? What's the highest income per month you've ever had? 573,000. Well, that was strictly the ride ticket income. That was not like... That was... It was a bit less. You know, staff wages and stuff. But that was ride income. APVC lowest intensity. I think this was my goal, to get the lowest intensity possible on an air-powered vertical coaster. It immediately slows you down to 6 kilometers per hour. Well, 3 even, on the lowest launch speed possible. It has banked turns, so the lowest lats possible, which is 0.06. Lowest average speed possible. So yeah, there's pretty much the minimum excitement rating I could do. 600 euro park entry. I believe that one was for my park entrance prices explained video. Where I was like, hey, people would pay 600 bucks for this. And well, they actually do. Because I made them spawn with plenty. And this ride is called 0000000 Tiny 2. And it's a rainbow. Of course it's a rainbow. There are so many parts that I made for a video at some point. What happened to 0000 Tiny 1? Well, that's just the tiny. And then it immediately goes to 2. There are 100 of them. We have 100 rides here. 10 plus X with 3. Can you guess what that one is? 10 plus X with 3. It's a very old save file. Well, apparently it's very new. I'm pretty sure I accidentally saved this at some point, resaved this. 'Cause I did this a long time ago. This was like 2017. Or maybe not. Maybe the 10 over 3 is what I'm thinking of. That one was maybe very old. Well, let's see what it is. No, this is old. This is old. Or is it? Maybe it's not. Clearly, this was getting 10 excitement with over 3.11 with the second penalty of lateral Gs. Right? Clearly, that's what this is. And I barely managed. Because despite very low stats everywhere else, this thing has almost 10 intensity. What I thought it was... I misremembered. I thought it was 10 over 3. Which was my attempt to get 10 excitement on a ride with only 3... well, less than 3 intensity. I got to 2.42 apparently. There was a while where I just lowered my record for lowest intensity for excitement. For 10 excitement. I mean, you can see I have here 10 over 5, 10 over 4, 10 over 3. What's the oldest save file you have? This one. It comes from Rollercoaster Tycoon 1. It's from the year 2000. It's not mine, obviously. And it's someone who cheated in Rollercoaster Tycoon 1. They levitated this pyramid bit, built through the pyramid, built through the water. Probably some other cheats here. I don't know exactly which. Oh, it doesn't seem to be too cheaty apart from that, actually. Oh, there's path through the water. What's the oldest from yourself? That one. It's from 2013. It's very old. Very loud. Extremely dense electric fields. Basically, this is the precursor to my 3 extremely dense sparks. Compared to those 3, this one is not very dense. Oh, thank you for the 12 months, Tanner. Oh, hey, Chose, you're welcome. It just looks dense. I mean, a park looks dense quite quickly. But, compare that with this one. This one is so much denser. This is just a brick. This is definitely the best angle. It's just a brick. Dense empty airfield. Empty airfield's way too big. You can still see the original Big Dipper. This park is also responsible for nearly 500,000 views. With basically this being the thumbnail. But with the rides a bit recolored so that they pop out more. I also did Diamond Heights, which has a lot more rides, but it's a bit less dense. Because the park is a lot bigger. This is absolutely massive. This park has 300 rides. And sure, building 300 rides in a park like this is piss easy. You know, just build 300 spiral slides. But yeah, a lot of these are big coasters. It's an absolute madness. Let's just remove all the rides. Well, not remove them, let's just make them invisible. There you go. That's the path layout. Good luck finding your way around. Yeah, it's an absolute maze. But you know what I'm proud of here? Not a single entrance queue line is connected to a dead end. Every queue line is connected to a path that loops back around. That's a rule that I always did for all my hyperdense parks. Well, except the first one, because I built that one in 2013. But the other three, that was a hard rule that I, as far as I remember, didn't break. Just the entrance is absolutely wild as well. 2 stalls next to the path, a floorless coaster station on top of that, and an observation tower with another path on top of that. It's just crazy. How many lost guests? 6. Just 6. Yeah, 300 rides, 18 dodgems, 9 Ferris wheels, 9 haunted highs. Well, maybe more, but yeah, I mean 10, because one is named haunted highs. 3 inverted coasters, 18 launched free falls, at least 10 looping coasters, called also looping. 44 and a few more renamed ones. Merry-go-rounds. 15 observation towers, 7 pirate ships, 35 spiral slides, 7 swing inverter ships, 17 top spins, 32 twists, 10 twister coasters, 4 wooden coasters, and a whole lot more other rides. Yet, oh, we do have quite a lot of stalls actually. At some point I think we had like really few, but I built suddenly a lot more. What's the park with the highest amount of attractions? That one. There are 1,000 rides here. Did you build it on stream? The last three hyperdense parks, yes, all built on stream. Forest Frontiers, Diamond Heights, and Bumblebee Beach. This is 1,000 accessible rides. And if you zoom out a bit, it can't really handle the rendering because we got so many things to render. I never knew it was possible to this high. Nope, not modded. Drop towers and path have no support limit. This is entirely vanilla. I mean, the fact that you can build 1,000 rides is not. 255 used to be the maximum. But outside of that, it's entirely vanilla. And that was the smallest I could do. 22 by 22 tiles. People brought it down to, I believe, 16 by 17 tiles for 1,000 rides. With, especially for the rotor drops, better use. Because you see a lot of rendered supports here, which is all wasted space. What do you mean by vanilla? So vanilla is the base game, just how it was released in 2002, with maybe a few updated versions later. But basically unchanged for 20 years. Including the expansions. And then not vanilla would be OpenRST2, which is kind of the community mod that we all use. And that increases a lot of limits, changes a lot of stuff. And one of the increased limits is that you can build 1,000 rides now. There's nobody get lost. Well, I don't have a lot of guests, actually. And yes, people do get lost. I have almost 100 lost guests, which is over 10%. My favorite save file, someone asked as well. I don't know if I have a favorite save file. Well, maybe I do know. I'm absolutely super fond of this park. It's a very recent park that I built on stream last year. I love this park. I think it's one of my best parks ever. It's just such a classic Roller Coaster Tycoon style, this. Let's look at this dodgems. And the scenery stuff. And this is like World 1-1 style, this coaster. You know, very happy-go-lucky grassy area. Ferris wheels on the hill with flower beds and statues around it. This is just definitely... This is my best park ever. And all these station buildings, which I think I did a great job at. And this coaster, which looks absolutely amazing with all the flowers. I mean, if we go to one of my favorite parks ever, that's one I didn't build. Built by someone called Jaren. It's this one. Look at it. Look at it. This is basically peak Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. This is my favorite park ever. Because there are no cheats used here, right? No zero clearance. No nothing. No cheats. No custom scenery either. No custom trains. It's all vanilla. It was built using OpenRCT2, of course, but it's basically all vanilla. I like that. I love that. That's my favorite style. And it's very dense, but not too dense. Lots of amazing buildings everywhere. I mean, look at this bit, alright? Alright? Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Doesn't it just look amazing? This city walk. You know, you have this little with the fountains and the flower beds and the trees. It's just lovely. And this goes on for the entire bloody park. Massive Giga Coaster. Quad dueling Giga Coaster. Where apparently the other one is broken down, unfortunately. And here, a sextuple rainbow dueling twist coaster. It's mad! And it's perfect. That's mad! The snow section. Oh yeah. Very good snowy hills. You know, random alien structure, Martian structure inside the Colosseum, inside the Helix. It works! This dude is brilliant. And this coaster that just changes color from green to white when it enters the snow area. So does this coaster and that coaster. So does everything. Like, Jaren is a genius. And the desert area. Look at it. Alright, I'll have my drink. This took him, well, 100 in-game years. We're in year 101. It took him, so it's about 90 hours. I don't know if he built all those 90 hours. It's a long time anyway. It's absolutely perfect. I mean, I say perfect. Obviously, it could be better. It can always be better, but this is pretty much perfect. Here's some, you know, very big dueling rides. And a jungle area. Look at how dense it is with everything. And it looks good. Just looks good. You know, the hedges and the bushes and the roof and the plants and the junk and the bones. And the Mr. Bones. And the massive dueling swinging suspended coaster. Which has like over 10 nausea. It's ridiculous. It just works. Look at this. Little bridge with a pointy roof thing and the wooden window thing, wall thing. And all the playing card types, bushes. Trimmed bushes and then the bushes behind it. It just looks perfect. It's like... It's pretty much the perfect park. Now I want to load something that you guys might know. It's not mine. I hope I remembered the name correct. I don't think I did. Hang on. Ah, that's the one I need. You guys might know this park. This is a little bit older. It's from Matsku. Matsku 84. Do you guys know this roller coaster? Does this look familiar to anyone, this roller coaster? Because it just might. Why does that one look so familiar? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You've seen this before. You absolutely have. I mean, not all of you, of course. But some of you have. Not from me. I might have shown you it, but not from me. You've seen this years ago. Like, before I ever did YouTube. You have. And I'll show you. This is Beauty and the Beast by Matsuko from 2009. I can't give you the audio because there's a copyrighted song. I saw this. I saw this back in the day. Like maybe not 14 years ago, but 10 years ago. I've seen this. Absolutely. You know what the most stunning thing is to me even? The song that's playing here, which I won't play because copyright, is Beauty and the Beast by Nightwish. I heard this song back then, like 10 years ago. Maybe more, like 12, 13 years ago. I had never heard of Nightwish. I didn't listen to Nightwish. I didn't recognize it as Nightwish. I didn't discover Nightwish until years later. And then at some point, I watched this video and I was like, hang on. I recognized that music. Turns out it was Nightwish, which is now my favorite band, has been for years. It's absolutely amazing. So this is probably the first Nightwish song I ever heard. If you want to hear it, it's called Beauty and the Beast. Look it up yourself, because, you know, copyright. Absolutely amazing. Matsuko was the shit. There's also his Extreme Heights. Hang on, let me just... Okay, it's just called Extreme Heights by Matsuko. Which you might have seen as well. What's the latest year? Year 119. You might recognize this, because it's another park by Matsuko, which he made a video on. Where's the entrance? Right there. And it's absolutely another amazing park. This massive stack of cogwheels in the middle. But yeah, I can guarantee that at least some of you will have seen this park before as well. I did. I saw this back in the day. This was all built in like 2008. And it's wonderful. Like this little thing with the cogwheels and the boards and the thing. Another thing with the skulls and the gargoyles. And, you know, all these flower beds and the fountains and the paths and the fences. It's lovely. So you love Tarja Turunen as well. Yeah, I like all of them. All the 3 Nightwish female singers. Tarja, Annette Olson and Florianse. Absolutely brilliant park, this. Mastco did such a phenomenal job on this. Either way, it's getting a bit late. This is the park we built today. We went through some old save files. And I am going to see who I can raid. So thank you very much for watching. Let's raid Natty. I can't be asked to look for someone else. She's always fun to raid. Thank you very much. I'll see you on Sunday afternoon. So 6 hours earlier than usual. And yeah, hope you liked tomorrow's video. See ya. Have a good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Meow. Bye bye.